All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for your interest and excitement in San Diego Community Power's Solar Battery Savings Program. Congratulations on being approved. We are excited to partner with you and other approved contractors to make this program a success. I'm Emily Fisher. I'm the Senior Program Manager responsible for this program, developed and excited about launching this program. So today we'll talk through the introduction, which includes community choice aggregators and what they are, San Diego Community Power, specifically about who we are, and then the program overview, where we'll talk through the program goals, customer eligibility, a summary of the program, and incentive calculations. And then really going through the submittal processes and how to upload information to us for us to approve your customers. And then finally, we'll talk through the website. So to start off, we want to walk through what a community choice aggregator, or CCA, is. In 2002, California's state legislature enabled community choice aggregators in California. This legislative bill stated that community choice aggregators would be local, not-for-profit energy providers overseen by local elected officials. While most of the action has been in Northern California, including some of the oldest CCAs like Marin Clean Energy and Sonoma Clean Power, CCAs have started growing in Southern California over the last 5 to 10 years, with San Diego Community Power forming in 2019. There are now 25 operating CCAs across the state, serving 200 cities and counties, delivering over 14,000 megawatts of clean energy to over 14 million customers. And San Diego Community Power is one of those CCAs, or community choice aggregators, and therefore we are a not-for-profit public agency. We formed in 2019 with the cities of San Diego, Chula Vista, Encinitas, La Mesa, and Imperial Beach coming together to establish a joint powers agency. We started serving our first customers in 2021 and completed enrollment of the first round of cities in 2022. In 2023, SDCP enrolled the city of National City in the unincorporated areas of San Diego County. We've continued to provide reliable, cost-competitive electricity to our customer, serving about 60% of SDG&E service territory. That makes up nearly 1 million customers, making us the second largest CCA, or community choice aggregator, in California. And now how it works. SDCP, or San Diego Community Power, was formed to purchase clean energy on behalf of our communities. This means that we're different from traditional investor-owned utilities and that we do not own or operate the energy grid. For our customers, that's still handled by San Diego Gas and Electric, or SDG&E. Instead, we purchase the energy needed to supply our customers by contracting directly with renewable energy providers, and that energy is then delivered through SDG&E's existing power lines. This introduces competition and more local control into the energy market, allowing for us to negotiate for cleaner and more local energy at competitive rates and to reinvest revenues into community projects and programs. As a community provider of clean electricity, we have the opportunity to support energy efficiency and decarbonization programs, develop more local renewable energy resources in the region, and invest in innovative, clean technologies and energy-related job training. Every customer within the cities we serve was automatically enrolled to receive our electric generation, so customers may not know if they are an SDCP customer or not. Therefore, we want to provide you with a way to check this. So SDCP customers will still receive their utility bills from SDG&E. Under the summary of current charges, you'll see what is shown here. If they are an SDCP customer, you'll see there is an electric delivery charge for transmission and distribution, which is SDG&E's responsibility, as shown. And below that is the electric generation charge, which is the energy produced, and that is SDCP's responsibility. So SDG&E actually collects the bill payments from the customers and then pays us for the generation. And then we're reinvesting a portion of those funds back into the community through efforts like this program. And so how are these programs funded? Like mentioned before, we reinvest those funds back into the community through incentives, rebates, education, and more. Our programs are designed to help customers reduce their utility bills and reduce their barriers to participation. Our mission really is to provide affordable clean energy and invest in the community to create an equitable and sustainable future for the region. And we're doing that through the Solar Battery Savings Program, and you'll be seeing a lot more programs over the upcoming year or two. This program is funded entirely by San Diego Community Power, and if you're interested in learning more about the specifics, please reach out to our program email address, solarbatterysavings@sdcommunitypower.org, and we'll be happy to share more. And on to the program overview. So we wanted to start by saying that we created this program to help the industry with the transition to net billing tariff. We understand the value of net export is significantly reduced, impacting the economics of standalone solar and vastly impacting the industry. To improve project economics and support the solar and storage industry, we wanted to create an incentive program for storage. So as a reminder, on December 15th of 2022, CPUC established net billing tariff as the successor to NEM 2.0. Net billing tariff, NBT, or NEM 3.0, however we want to call it, officially went into effect on April 15th of 2023, with SDCP operationalizing it in our billing system in December 2023. We recognize there is a lot of customer value to adopting a battery with solar because, one, it enables customers to reduce their energy bills by allowing the battery to discharge during on-peak periods. Two, leveraging higher export credits, with the battery export often being higher in the evening hours. And three, specifically, SDCP is offering a significant upfront incentive to offset the initial cost of a battery storage system and a performance incentive for dispatching during a specified window that will align with the on-peak period. And four, to really support the grid when demand is high and minimize the outages throughout the community. And then you'll see the two images on the right. These walk through two examples of how customers can participate in this program, and they're really kind of both sides of the spectrum. So in the first image, you can see the orange daily consumption line across the full 24 hours on a daily basis. And as you see around hour 7 or 8, the sun starts to go up and solar starts to be produced, and it is covering what the site is using in terms of their energy consumption, but also producing more than that, which is being used to charge the battery. And then in hour 16, when the on-peak period starts, the battery starts to discharge to the site. You'll see it's only discharging to the site until you get to hour 19, where this is showing the discharge window to essentially take effect for this example. And in this example, the customer is discharging 50% of their battery. So some of that battery is still being used to discharge to the home for that full consumption that the home is using. And then the rest of it is going back to the grid. The customer would be getting paid that full 2 kW or really 4 kWh over the 2-hour period for the performance incentive for that example. And then in the image below, the customer is participating the maximum amount of their battery or majority of it. And you'll see again that the daily consumption line is in orange. And as the sun is going up, it's starting to overproduce and it's being used to charge the battery. In this example, the customer is only discharging their battery during the specified 2-hour window, and it's using about 80% of that battery during that time. And again, that customer is being paid for that full discharge during that window, whether it's going to the home and or the grid. And while this example may cause contractors or customers to wonder, why would I do this? A lot of our care and fair customers, it may make sense to operate the program in this way so that they're able to reduce their essential bill by 18 to 30% during those on-peak hours. And then they have an 11-cent adder onto their export credits. So it may make more sense for them to leverage those credits. Additionally, too, customers that really want to support the grid may take this route to just make sure that their battery is positively benefiting the grid during these really high consumption hours. All right, and on to program goals. Our first and primary goal is to continue solar and storage growth throughout our service territory. We've seen massive growth over the last couple years, and we don't want that to stop. We are aiming for 50% of these incentives to go to our communities of concern, and we'll discuss what that means in a couple slides. Next is to support our agency goals with providing clean, reliable energy to reduce our demand on a daily basis during peak periods. And third, we want to leverage non-SDCP incentives like the Self-Generation Incentive Program, or SGIP, or the Disadvantaged Communities Single-Family Solar Homes, DACSASH, or the City of San Diego Solar Equity Program for our customers to minimize the overall cost of a new system. And finally, to build strong relationships with our customers and the industry. SDCP is still somewhat new, and we need to continue to grow our exposure to our customers. And through a program like this, we can really build those strong relationships with our contractors and customers. And then customer eligibility. So the customer must be an active SDCP residential customer in a single-family home. Customers who have opted out must return to our service to be eligible. The system equipment must be interconnected and permitted by the agency having jurisdiction, so the city or the county if it's in the unincorporated. The battery must be fully charged by on-site solar. Our agency's goals is to use clean energy as much as possible, so this eligibility requirement kind of falls in line with our agency goals. The batteries can't simultaneously be participating or enrolling in any other active demand response programs, like the state's Emergency Load Relief Program or the CEC's Demand Side Grid Support Program. And finally, existing battery systems are not eligible for this program. We do want to make sure that all applications coming in from customers are after the program has officially been launched for that specific contractor, after that contractor has been approved. We do hope to offer this program for the performance incentive to existing batteries in the future, but unfortunately right now we're not able to do that. And then our program incentive categories. So you'll see this slide here, and we'll show it again in a couple slides, but we have two different categories for our upfront incentive. One is market rate and the other is non-market rate. And our non-market rate includes CARE, FARA, and communities of concern. And we'll talk about what that means in the next couple slides. So what is CARE and FARA? CARE and FARA are assistance programs through SDG&E that are made available to support our customers who are having a tough time paying their bills. CARE is the California Alternate Rates for Energy program. Customers sign up to participate in this program, but must participate in public assistance programs. The full list is on our program manual on page 3, or meet the income guidelines shown on this slide. Customers that are registered receive a 30% discount on their monthly energy bill. And then FARA is the Family Electric Rate Assistance Program. Customers must meet the income guidelines shown. FARA customers are able to receive an 18% discount on their energy bill. And these are updated annually, and the rates are shown here are effective from June 1st of 2024 through May 31st of 2025. And then our final category for the non-market rate includes communities of concern. So you'll see a static map here, but we will have a portal available for approved contractors, obviously after this, where you'll be able to see the map and enter in the account number or address to see whether or not they fall within a community of concern. So these areas are the top scoring 25% for disadvantaged communities under Cal EnviroScreen 4.0, the low-income communities under priority populations based on California Climate Investment Priority Populations, and then areas defined by our member agencies within the Climate Equity Index Report. So specifically, San Diego and Chula Vista have added additional census tracts to this communities of concern requirement. This equals roughly 55% of our customers throughout our service territory. So I definitely recommend using the map that'll be shown after this training to be able to confirm if a customer is within a community of concern or not. All right, so back to this slide. As for our market rate customers, are really looking through the middle column, there will not be a one-time upfront solar incentive for these customers, but there will be a one-time upfront storage incentive of $350 per kWh based on the manufacturer data sheet's usable nameplate capacity. If it's not available on the spec sheet, we will be collecting that information from the approved battery manufacturers, and that will be available to you within the portal that you can visualize after this training. So that $350 per kWh would be roughly $3,500 to $4,000 or so on average, or 20 to 25% of the battery project cost. The upfront incentive can be paid out to whoever is delegated as the payee on the participant enrollment application, or really the customer application. So it could be the customer or the contractor. We just need the name or business name and payment information. And that payment will be made within 30 days after we receive the permission to operate letter from the contractor. In addition to the upfront incentive, there will be an ongoing performance incentive of 10 cents per kWh for the actual battery performance during a daily dispatch for a 2-hour period that will coincide with the on-peak periods. I do want to note that that 10 cents per kWh is paid whether or not the battery is discharging to the home and or the grid. So it is paying that 10 cents per kWh for whatever that battery is discharging during that full dispatch window, or that 2-hour period specifically for 2024 and 2025. Additionally, I want to note that the 2-hour window for the remainder of 2024 and 2025 does align with those high export values in August and September, because we do really want to make sure the customer is maximizing their benefits. A preset schedule will be provided to the approved battery manufacturers for the same 2-hour period for each month. We'll also show it in a couple of slides. For example, in January, it may be from 6 to 8 p.m. every day, while February, it may be from 7 to 9. And this performance incentive is paid to the homeowner on an annual basis at the end of each year via check or direct deposit lasting for 10 years. Next, we'll move over to the column on the right, the non-market rate, which again includes our CARE and FARA and or communities of concern customers. So these customers will have a minimal solar upfront incentive based on kWAC. So it's up to $450 per kWAC, or roughly 10 to 15% of the solar system cost. And that's made available, and we would like for customers to be able to leverage DAC/SASH and San Diego Solar Equity Program, though, when applicable, or even SCHIP for our CARE and FARA customers. And then the one-time upfront storage incentive will be up to $500 per kWh, again, based on the manufacturer datasheet's usable nameplate capacity, or around $5,000 to $6,000 on average, or 30% or so of the battery project cost. And then again, the ongoing performance incentive will be the same at 10 cents per kWh for the actual performance during the daily dispatch. And then into the program details. So we will be allowing customers to enroll for weekday only or weekday plus weekend, which would essentially be 365 days per year. That's based on their preference. We do hope or assume that majority of customers will want to participate 365 days a year with net billing tariff and the impacts it can have for them to discharge their battery on a daily basis during those peak periods. We hope and expect most customers to want to do that. The dispatch for 2024 and 2025 will be a 2-hour period, but in future years, it may be extended to longer durations. So it could be from 2 to 5 hours. Additionally, we want to provide customers with flexibility in terms of how they enroll their battery. We want them to feel like they're in charge of their battery, because they are, and they're buying this system that is a lot of money. So we want to allow them flexibility in terms of how much they want their battery to participate. So at minimum, they have to participate 50% of their battery. And they can also choose different enrollment capacities for the summer and winter seasons, each seasons. And we are providing some flexibility in terms of underperformance in case there are days where the solar isn't able to fully charge the batteries due to overcast, or if the customer simply wants to opt out one day to ensure they have power in case of some event. But we are expecting them to perform at 90% of their enrolled capacity each and every month. And finally, there may be a prorated clawback associated with the upfront incentive. If a customer does unenroll within the first 5 years, there will be a clawback, and it will be evenly distributed over the 5 years. So if someone unenrolls within the first year, they will be responsible for returning the full upfront incentive payment. If it's the second year, they'll be responsible for returning 80%, third year, 60%, and so forth. And then here are the dispatch windows. As I mentioned, this is for the remainder of 2024 and 2025. This will be nice to have for reference when speaking with customers, and we're happy to share this in another format if requested. The dispatch windows will remain for the same 2-hour period for each month. And battery manufacturers will essentially be enrolling in this program, and with that enrollment, they will be agreeing to operationalizing these windows so that the battery is dispatching the percentage enrolled during these 2 hours, whether it's discharging to the home and or the grid. Additionally, battery manufacturers will be responsible for sharing the battery performance data with us so that we can track that performance incentive and make sure the proper amount is paid out to the customers on an annual basis. Batteries must be grid connected to make sure that that percentage enrolled is hit each and every day. And then in terms of the upfront incentive calculation, you can see here that this battery spec sheet has a usable capacity of 10 kWh. So for a market rate customer who's getting $350 per kWh, they would receive an upfront incentive of $3,500. For a non-market rate customer, assuming that they're not eligible for SGIP, they would receive $500 per kWh or $5,000 total. And then for the performance incentive calculations, as I mentioned before, battery manufacturers will be required to operationalize this and share the performance data with us on a quarterly basis. They can share that data with us via this CSV template, and an example is shown here, or a VPP-like platform and giving us access to that so we can pull this information directly. So as you'll see here, the date and time, it needs to be filled in by the battery manufacturer, and then the fifth column over, or the battery charge and discharge data, will also need to be filled in by the battery manufacturer. In this example, the 2-hour window is aligning with hour 19 and 20, and so that battery is discharging 8.64 kWh, which equals around 86 cents per day. Multiply that by 365 days a year. They should be receiving an annual check of around $315, assuming they're participating every single day. And then over the lifetime, it'll be $3,000, $3,000 and $150. And so this will be automatically calculated based on the spreadsheet, and this will be filled in as well if the battery manufacturer provides us access into their controls platform. And then for the submittal process. So again, congratulations on your approval to participate in this program. While our application requirements aren't too stringent, we did have specific requirements in place to ensure that this program was going to benefit local contractors who have the experience and licenses to successfully deliver this program to our customers and provide high quality customer satisfaction and be around in years to come. So as a reminder, in addition to the application, you agreed to the self-certification stating in summary the following: that you'll comply with program requirements, you'll attend this training, you'll maintain a professional degree of workmanship, you'll be responsive to both us and our customers, maintain licenses and warranties for the duration of the program, and comply with local and state rules. So you were approved to deliver this program. So you received your login information from SD Community Power at public.govdelivery.com. This email should have contained a link for you to reset your password, and your username would be the email that you registered with on the application and the email that received the notification from SD Community Power at public.govdelivery.com. So there's only one username and password per company, so please feel free to share and distribute amongst your team. Multiple people are allowed to be logged in at the same time, but make sure each user sets to remember the device when they log in to avoid the unnecessary 6-digit code being sent out to the email that is registered. So you should have just done this step before attending this training. And then obviously once you're into the portal, this video comes up so that you can listen to the training. We do recommend sharing this video with other team members who weren't able to attend this training or be able to be there in person before the program was launched. This will be posted on YouTube for reference and linked. The link will be provided in the portal, or again, feel free to reach out to Solar Battery Savings at sdcommunitypower.org to request that. After your training is done, you will be reset to the map page within the portal, and you will have full access to the portal after completing this video. So you can access this map where you can, 1, check for customer eligibility by being able to search in the search bar for their account number or address, and 2, check for the incentive level applied. So after you've searched for an account number or an address, a PIN will appear indicating the customer's residence, and you can click on that PIN And that pin will show you care, FARA, and community of concern, and it will show a yes or no, indicating if they are within any of those programs or communities. And if any of them are a yes, you can apply the higher incentive of $500 per KWH. And then we'll talk through the participant enrollment application before proceeding through the portal. So just wanted to note the participant enrollment application, we did want to keep it simple and collecting just basic contact information for the customer, their project information, how they want to enroll their battery, the payee, so who collects that upfront incentive, and then the customer's signature. And there are a couple pages of T's and C's after this that will require the customer's initials. So in the mindset of keeping this simple, we are providing the participant enrollment application in a PDF. It'll also be available within the portal within the document section. So contractors are able to add it essentially to their existing contract between themselves and the customers. This can be filled in by the contractor, but must be signed by the customer or homeowner. And then the T's and C's additionally must be initialed by the customer or homeowner. We will accept virtual signatures, so if your contract is in a DocuSign or another type of application like that, you're welcome to just simply upload this to that document and allow for those virtual signatures. Additionally, battery manufacturers may have specific T's and C's. I definitely recommend reaching out to your battery manufacturers with the products that you plan to install to see if they have those T's and C's. We will have them uploaded within the documents in the portal in case you'd like to add those to your contract as well. And then the contract and the participant enrollment application must be signed before installation. So please submit those in the portal as soon as possible to make sure that the appropriate upfront incentive will be reserved. And then back into the portal. So you'll see at the top, there is the banner. If you select projects, this is the page that will open up for you and where you can start adding customer specific projects and upload the appropriate documentation. Once into the project page, a list of the projects will appear down the list, and then to add a project, simply select the plus add project. A new window will appear where you can enter the customer name, address, upfront incentive value, and if you scroll down, the battery OEM model and nameplate usable capacity will automatically appear. So while you'll see the contractor shown here, it will be associated with your account, so you will not have that field available to change. And then you will select create in the bottom right hand corner. And then it'll go back to essentially your project page here. So assuming that project was added, you can go ahead and view what's involved within that customer application by simply clicking on that line item. And then if you want to upload specific documentation, you can do the same there and just clicking again on that specific customer. So once that customer has been clicked, you'll be able to upload the specific files needed for project review. So you'll click the upload file button here and select the document to upload, and then click continue and a new window will appear. So here you upload the file and then you press continue. The first two documents that should be submitted, one right after another, is the contract and the participant enrollment application. If they are within the same document, feel free to upload the same document twice for both of those two fields. Once submitted, we will review and approve or deny within 10 business days and notify you once it's been reviewed. If it's rejected, we will let you know why the project was rejected, and if the customer does become eligible in the future, you're welcome to resubmit. If approved, the upfront incentive will be reserved for that project. And then from there, the contractor can proceed with permitting, the interconnection application, procuring materials, and scheduling the installation. Once the installation is done, contractors must submit a photo of the nameplate in the same way they uploaded the contract and participant enrollment application. And they must include a photo of the nameplate, which will include the OEM serial number or ID. So on here, they'll essentially select that OEM ID. And that way the battery manufacturer can operationalize the program on their end. Then the final requirement for submittal will be the PTO letter. So again, clicking that PTO letter, which will allow us to process the upfront incentive payment. Additional documents that can be added include a change order. Our recommendation is to notify us as soon as possible if there is a change to the system size so that we can ensure it is updated on the upfront incentive reservation. Additionally, if you're unable to complete the installation within 6 months of the contractor application approval because of material delays or scheduling, please notify us with an extension request, another field that you can enter for the document type here. And as long as it's reasonable, we should be able to accommodate it. Additionally, there is another document type other, and essentially use that if anything else may come up throughout this program year for any of the customers that you have. And so in terms of the program upfront incentive budget, as I mentioned before, once we've reviewed that application, which includes the contract and participant enrollment application, and we've approved it, we will reserve the appropriate funds for that project. And the budget tracker, which we'll show on the next page, will be updated to reflect that. The reservation period will last for 6 months. So if you are unable to receive the PTO letter within 6 months of that approval, you'll need to let us know if an extension is needed, and we should be able to accommodate as long as the reason does make sense. And then in terms of a wait list, once the budget has been fully reserved, we will create a wait list. So applicants on that wait list understand and agree that an application placed on this wait list may be subject to new terms and conditions if the budget has been fully paid out and we need to wait for new funds to essentially become available. That may require new terms and conditions and a new program manual. And then as a result, there is no guarantee that an applicant will be eligible for this rebate. And so as I mentioned, this here is the program budget. The image on the top is what is shown on our webpage, and the image on the bottom is what will be shown within the portal. So customers are able to access the budget information on the webpage very easily, and we'll go through that, how to access that in a couple of slides. And then on the bottom, contractors are able to view it within the portal as well. This will be updated every 24 hours based on application approval. And then for quality assurance, we do retain the right to require post-installation inspections on the first 5 projects for any participating contractor. There may be an exemption if you are participating in SGIP, since they have their own post-installation inspections. If any issues are reported through that inspection or from customers, we'll make sure to notify the contractor in writing, and that corrective action will be taken within an agreed upon timeframe. If it's not done and without any communication with SDCP, that contractor may be put on probation where no new projects can be submitted until that issue is corrected. And then finally, just wanted to show the program webpage. So San Diego Community Power's webpage is sdcommunitypower.org. If you put that into your web browser, you'll see what is shown on the top part here, and you can click programs, and underneath the first one is solar battery savings. If you select that, the image below will show up with the program details. The budget tracker is further below. Customer eligibility requirements are listed, and then the approved contractors and how to become an approved contractor, the approved battery manufacturers and how to become an approved battery manufacturer, and then FAQs and the program manual link are shown further below. Just did want to note this is a very valuable resource for contractors, for customers, anyone interested in learning more about the program. There's a lot of great information on this webpage that is simple for people to understand, since it is a somewhat complicated program. And then want to close off by saying, if you do have any questions, please reach out to Solar Battery Savings at sdcommunitypower.org, and we'll make sure to get back to you with the answers to your question. If it is a more detailed, in-depth question, we may need to set up time to talk through it in a little more depth, but we are happy to respond to you and anything that you would like to have more information on. Thank you again for your participation in this program, and thank you for listening to this training.